I'm running like 5 or whatever.
Right,
So,
right.
So that's and then you can leverage the events that we have here to bring people in. The thing is, sometimes
Big day. Big day.
so then maybe
Big dandy.
I know she did.
Oh, yeah, the pumpkins.
Yes. You could always play with her, right? Because then across the US, there's people there. It's not like it's where are your people, right? It's just right now, right? So connect with her. See what she does for. She's always, she's always.
She is.
A lot of
She's
stuff.
got something. Yeah, she did something for St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hello, Danielle.
Right.
Yeah.
That'll be good. And then, maybe that we should. Are you excited or?
How did you get it? It was email.
What are you doing next, man?
There's 2 open seats right here. Kyle and Katey B. Yes, how are you? Isn't that funny? 10 years and then interactions like that. Really busy.
Megan.
I have one. I don't know.
I got it like right before. Yeah.
Keep me in mind if you tell myself that they're going to be like somebody around here.
Not Easter, right? How are you?
Unless someone they would go up to like 8.
Exactly. I love it.
No pressure. Yeah, and the other one I just posted last night, becoming soon, I gotta get all the paperwork done.
What price point is that?
429, just think it's 2 blocks from St. Katie's.
Yeah, I just.
Well, good morning, everybody. We know we've got a big day because Greg Hartos is here. What? And if Greg shows up, you know, we've gone way up there. And we are very excited today because we have a panel discussion that we're going to be having this for the second half of the meeting with some fantastic folks. And Jamie's going to introduce them as we get a little bit closer, but we are so excited to have them here with us today. In addition to all the other fun things we typically do. If you were here earlier for CE, thanks for coming. We appreciate that. That was a hoot and a half. And now we're going to go on with Jamie, who's going to run the show.
Right on. Hey, welcome everybody. Howdy. I saw spring's right around the corner, and I just want to give a quick shout out to all you parents who have had your kids home for the last week or 2 or whatever it might be. You've made it. And on the other end of the tunnel, you can breathe until next spring. All right. Well, first of all, let's introduce some brand new rock stars to be, Heidi Lang and Ken Alger. I haven't met them yet. excited to serve you serving others. And we just want to say, we had mentioned there's going to be a big announcement, and at a time when a lot of other brokerages, and it makes sense, with the market the way it is, are retracting, they're removing resources from their realtors. During the last shift where I was at, they removed a lot of resources, and totally understand. But we're going the other way. We want more support for you guys. We want more growth opportunity for you guys. So please welcome all the way from Kansas, Danielle. Where's she? And she's coming up just to give you a background. 10 years in real estate, coach 5 years, named a top 5 coach at KW Worldwide. Wow. That's all. Well, tell us why you're excited to be here today.
So I am super excited for the opportunity to get to meet all of you and get the opportunity to maybe coach you and assist you. I'm excited to help with the growth of the Market Center as well. And so I've kind of already hit the ground running this week, and you guys that I have met already have been amazing. You guys are so blessed to have a great Market Center here. A little bit about myself. I have 2 kids. I have a 26-year-old who is a paramedic, and then a 16-year-old who I actually brought with me this week, and she's at the hotel sleeping in, of course. And I am a breast cancer survivor.
Hey.
My claim to fame is I actually got to help rewrite the productivity coaching playbook with Gary Keller himself. So in a small room with Gary Keller, and he touched my playbook, which I still have. But I'm so excited to meet all of you. Stop by my office. I'm rooming with Jessica, so that's always dangerous, but super excited about that. So stop by and say hi.
Watch out for the plants.
Yes, you will grow deep roots there. Thank you so much.
Hey.
Guys, that's really exciting. It's really exciting to add a player to a team that has that depth and knowledge already. Congrats on some cappers. We got Big Scotty Naz and the Team Duckworth. All right, so what we have here right after the meeting, and if we could start passing this around, we have our ALC committees. So I'm going to pass this around. Please sign up for a committee or 2. And who we have here leading up is our amazing ALC leaders. We have Lisa Brainer as the luxury chair. Where are you, Lisa? Thank you so much. We have Kim Lindgren in health, but don't stand up because your back hurts, which is why we need the help. And the chair. And we have Candace and Shane co-chairing diversity, equity, and inclusion. Thank you so much. And co-chairs, once again, coming back for another tour, is Kelly and Megan on the culture chair. Thank you, on the culture committee. We have the tech geeks, John and Dean. So thank you, gentlemen. And we have Mr. Wright, you can't go wrong, with their finance. And he's going to do a lot of different classes and teaching. So sign up for 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. Let's grow. Find a way to get engaged. People who are engaged, grow. Okay? And we have some events and training coming up. First of all, this guy's already changed my life a little bit, which is cool, from the last event. I love it. So please, if you haven't, there's limited spacing. Sign up for Jordan Freed. He'll take you deeper, in a deeper way, and find some things out about yourself that can get over some hurdles, and that's a big deal. Appreciate that. We have come and learn how to measure a property with Chad. April 19th. Now, it's not just, a little measuring. There's a whole system to this, and anything you can learn from Chad is a blessing. So please show up for that. Then we have week 1 of Ignite coming up, and it's all on your flip charts, by the way, if you need to learn more. What we also have coming up is Opportunity Knocks. What is this? This is an opportunity for you to grow profit share by sharing people you know in this industry who are struggling, who could use a great team. And look at that, we have great teams here. Right? We have great leaders. There's a lot of people in this market that need them. So please let people know in this industry that you could think of that could use being on a team. It's at JL Beers, Burnsville, April 18th. I think they serve beers. And speaking of serving beers, we have our dynamic.
Where's the beer?
Hold on, wait. Brian Sunder and Drake.
Thank you. No, that is the best.
No, there's like 4 of us who get that.
Right. Thunder. Well, we're struck, go ahead.
All right, we can start off with this video. This is a local market update video that we have for you guys.
Steve Rawl just texted me, and that info is 22 and a half hours old.
So this is a video that we have for you guys. If you want your information on there, just let us know. We'll send that over to you guys. It's just another touch for you guys, just to stay top of mind. It's a video that we provide every single month. So this is for the month of March. And we can even do it at a county level. So this was for Dakota County. So again, if you guys want that video, just let us know and we'll send it right over to you. And then next we have up on the board is the realtor content calendar. It's really hard to see from back there, I'm sure. I will be posting that in the Facebook group for you guys. We're always just trying to take some of that thinking of content out of the equation for you guys. And so we came up with this calendar. It's got a bunch of different tasks for you guys to do so that you can keep pumping out your social media content and not having to think of the ideas. So and again, we'll be sure to post that in the Facebook group. We also are sending out our newsletters regularly every single month, and so most of you should have got that this morning. That is also included in that email, and that's what we got on the marketing side of things.
All right, so this is just an interesting graphic. We can certainly get out to you, but something I'm always talking to customers about, the best time to buy was yesterday, the second best is today. And so this is basically the last 80-ish years. There's always been appreciation except for 7 times. And so, customers who last year were on the fence, I'm gonna wait it out, well, now they're paying more. And so, again, it's just, if anybody's interested, I wanted to have that available. But also, I wanted this on there because NAP is rebranding, gotta be fresh. So that's our new symbol. We're getting rid of the star. And I'm not sure how I feel about it, but yes.
That was a great plug. Are those percentage increases year of the previous year? The percentages there?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
And so speaking of rebranding, we've got our buyer accept program, cash buyer program. Well, this is a little premature, but it's going to be switching to NAF cash buyer accept. That was all kind of clunky. And so our cash buyer program is going to be NAF cash. Last team meeting, I talked about an accepted offer, a NAF cash. I'm just going to use it now, even though it's not official. Offer was accepted, 26 grand less than the highest offer because it was cash. Just heard from another agent that they accepted a NAF cash offer on their own listing here. It just can't hurt to take the trip. Find out more about it. We've got a calendar, you click on it, it's Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, it takes an hour. Now you're certified if something comes up, but just to find out more information about it, it just can't hurt. If you need the link, reach out and we'll send you the link. It's just a calendar, click on it and you're signed up. Any questions on that?
Drake, if you make that video for somebody, can you include like some dancing, because that.
I can include a snippet of you dancing at the end of your film.
Yes.
With your brand new studio room that you got over there.
There you go, now we're talking our language.
All right. Any more dancing questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Speaking of men, 2 men and a truck. Come on up, introduce yourself, please.
Hello.
Movers, who care?
Yeah, well, I want to apologize first and foremost. Sally is our wizard of doing this stuff. She's on maternity leave. Congratulations to her. But you guys are stuck with me, so. My name is Dan McLaughlin. I've been with 2 Men in a Truck for 19 years. We've been around since '99. Started off with a small shop, 2 trucks. We now own the whole Twin Cities, St. Cloud, Duluth, and Western Wisconsin. We have about 70 vehicles in our fleet. And now opening more junk removal as well. As you guys are moving, getting more homes sold, not everything is always going to fit. Some things don't want to go. We're an option as well for that as well, okay? We do have some $25 off coupons too, so if my information's up here, reach out to me. I can give you guys some coupons and everything like that, and help your clients out. As far as services, our main focus is to make sure that we're moving everybody forward, right? I mean, everybody's got something going on. Everybody's got their own needs. Our job is to help out everybody that needs our help, all right? All full-time workers here to pad and stretch wrap furniture, make sure it gets brought from point A to point B. As we've grown, we've also grown our interior. More claims people to help out with if there is an issue. Junk removal, so on and so forth, like that. Get all nervous, guys. I can talk to 4 or 5 people until I'm blue in the face. You get me in front of 50 people, woo!
You're doing great.
But the main focus is just to help your clients get moved out, you know. Our team of sales staff, we have about 10 CSRs right now. Doing anything from local moves to interstate moves to in-home moves, senior moves, everything that you need. I'll be here all day, so if you guys have any questions or needs, feel free to ask. We've got brochures up here. Let us know if you need our help, all right? Yes? Absolutely. Packing, unpacking, disposal, storage, moving, in-home moves, whatever you need. Yes?
Tell us more about storage.
Storage. Okay, so we have 3 facilities. Now, unfortunately, we just relocated our South Metro location as that building was getting too small for us, so we're actually looking to get bigger. Just the timing with lease didn't work out. We do storage crates, which are 5 by 7 by 7 in our climate-controlled warehouses. And we build based on capacity. So it's not just, here's a 10 by 20, and if you only use half, you're built for the whole 10 by 20. It's based on however many of our units that you would need. And they are staying padded and stretch wrapped as well, inventoried, protected throughout the whole process, so you don't have to touch a thing. Yes?
So with those crates, does that mean you can drop them off in someone's driveway and then they
No.
can slowly fill them up?
No, not at this time. That is an option, right? Our trucks are not outfitted for that yet, because then you also have to have that forklift ability at the unload location. And we don't want to buy that mule that's needed for that, for the small chances that you need it. So
Okay.
eventually that is our 5-year projection. I saw another hand up over there. Yes.
So just a little plug, you were out last Thursday, with some clients of mine.
Yes.
Also do probate, clean out and moving, so.
We do some work. Yes, absolutely.
And you got high reach, I just talked to them again yesterday and they talked the world of you, you did a great job, they're super excited, thankful for your hard work.
I appreciate that. I mean, that's honestly, that's how we were able to grow. I mean, you can't just buy into a market, especially like this. You can't. Just like you guys, you depend on your referrals as well, right? And that's how we grew, is taking care of the customers. I'd love to say we've been perfect on every single move, but that would be a lie, you know? We are humans and we are moving a lot of different stuff. And as we've had to grow, we've learned our processes and try to iron those out as well. So more equipment and better training, like our Burnsville facility. We actually constructed our own house within our warehouse for a training process, to help make sure that all of our new hires have a better understanding of what to get out to, right? So thank you for that, though. That's great. Any other questions about moving or what we can provide to your
Thank you
potential
for
clients?
bringing lunch today.
Absolutely. Jersey Mike's is over there, some chips, waters, cookies. So, any other questions?
Thank you so much, Dan.
Thank
Again,
you.
for the food. Hey, good job. Good job.
What anxiety?
Now you appreciate salad.
Eat salad.
Awesome. So, hey, as many of y'all knew, coming into this meeting, we were able to establish an esteemed panel. And we reached out to a handful of agents, and one of the big criteria is, are you, year over year, are you up right now? And these folks are up right now. And they all have actually done a volume of 25 million or more in the last year, so that's pretty impressive. And you know what? We're gonna learn from them. I'm sure they just dropped out of the sky and started earning that right away and didn't have any problems, so. But that being said, we have Regan Englund. Come on up. She and Kyle Olson are with Classic out of Maple Grove. And we have Katey Bean.
I was gonna put the tossing right on. Do it, go.
Whichever one wants to.
I gotta give you
Just do what you're told, Kyle. Come on.
You got it? Just asking. First of all, hello everybody out there. We didn't say
Oh, I got her Zoom.
that is the Zoom.
Like spinning in here.
These are fun. All right. You can give realtors just the smallest little gift, boy, and they have a great time. I love that. So thank you all so very much. I mean, it says a lot about the Keller Williams culture that people from other brokerages are willing to drive all the way across town just to share what they've learned in their career and in their lives with other people. So I think that says a lot about the heart of these folks and the heart of this company at large.
Says a lot about your leadership that we would want to, guys.
Well, yeah, that's Olivia.
Incredible.
Once you found out it was me, you weren't gonna come.
I mean.
That's okay.
That's what she told me anyway.
Never.
So let's start off with this. Regan, you're right here. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your business.
Yeah, my name is Regan Englund.
Regan, sorry.
You're just
Regan.
fine. I get it all the time. Not the president. I never have been. That was always my joke I had to share as a child. My mom made me. But I've been in the industry for 9 years. Prior to getting in the industry, I was in accounting and finance, and then I have a heart to serve. So I knew that pricing out pigs at Hormel Foods, walking through the kill floor, trudging through blood and pigs, grabbing their eyeballs was not what my soul was meant for. So
Never knew that.
yeah, I don't share it as often as I just started eating meat about 5 years ago. So, but a little bit about my business. So I have held a lot of roles in real estate. I started as a buyer's agent. Incredible experience in that year. I learned more in that year than I ever could have in 5 years on my own. Then I got into some expansion work with Mr. Cody Gibson. If you don't know who he is, he's exceptional, and his public speaking ability blows me away. I became his regional director. I was his top expansionist. I just was very fortunate to be able to serve people. And then I had the pleasure of being the assistant team leader at the Minneapolis Market Center, where I got to meet Katey. And then from there, I realized that I really loved helping people buy and sell real estate, and you can't do that in those leadership roles. So gosh, about 3-4 years ago, I came back out, started selling real estate, and last year really kind of changed the game when I used to coach people to hire, right? But then I started hiring myself. So started my team. I have a licensed admin and then a buyer's agent, and we just recently brought on a luxury builder onto our team. So is that enough to share for now?
That's outstanding.
And I look up to these two people, so it's an honor to sit here
Aw.
alongside of them.
Isn't that nice? That is nice. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Kyle, it's Kyle, right?
Yeah, I'm here because Hartos told me it had to be.
Lisa, oh no!
Actually, didn't know you were coming today.
I was in the way.
Yeah,
You listen.
rarely. So I'm Kyle out of Maple Grove. Last month was 20 years that I've been licensed. My entry was not as cool as yours. I graduated college in '02, and my best friend got his real estate license. I got a real job, and I was talking to him one day, and he said, "Dude, come do this. I play video games all day, go show houses, and I get big checks when it happens." So I did that, and that didn't last long for him. Surprisingly, right? So here I am 20 years later. I know this is one of the questions, like a pivotal moment. You had tremendous experiences through the way. I kind of floundered for a while and had some success, right? I say flounder, but was selling a decent amount of homes. And then in when was this? You called me over to KW, 2009, I think. And then I met Dave Foy at Bold and worked on his team for 3 or 4 years. Like Regan's experience, learned more in 3 or 4 years than I would have in my entire career by myself. And realized he was never going to retire, so I left. We're still really good friends. He ended up retiring this year, well, kind of. And then, I don't know, 2015 or so, hired my first assistant. And now it's me and Laura, and Carly is my showing assistant. So a little team of 3.
That's outstanding. We'll come back to dig deeper into your woes.
Yeah.
What got you over those hurdles?
There's plenty, aren't there?
Lots. I don't have enough time.
Right?
And Katey,
Yes, Katey Bean, I'm out of Minneapolis Lakes office. Last month I celebrated my 18th year, so I'm just behind you. I feel like I'm starting, you know, when people get to that point on their birthdays and they start just like maybe going backwards. I'm starting to feel like maybe next year I'll say it's 17 years in real estate and like start going backwards. I've loved this career. I've loved it since day one, and actually interestingly kind of fell into it truly. I applied to be a receptionist at a mortgage office, and I did the interview and they said, well, hey, why don't you be a loan officer instead of being, you know, in the admin, you'll make way more money. And I said, well, that sounds great. What is a loan officer? I had no idea. I didn't even own a home. I didn't really know about a mortgage. I actually had a house at that time. Long story short, I got into that, and you know, it was in the refi boom, and we were referring out all of this real estate business. And so we said, wow, what would be a really fun thing is to open up our own real estate office. Right, can you imagine? So you're doing loans and houses and all of this, and really quickly realized I love the real estate side. I had a transaction with Katey Lowry, if anybody knows Katey out of our office, fantastic agent. And I said, if this real estate transaction goes well, which it should, I'm calling him after and I'm gonna ask him, who do I need to know? Because I had nobody to mirror from. I had nobody to mentor me. I was, you know, and they say when you're the smartest one in the room, there was like a handful of us, all brand new agents, right? Nobody knew what they were doing. So I made that call, and that introduced me to Keller Williams, and yeah, you know, an investor in that office. I've been there, you know, in that office itself for like 14 years. So that's what started things off. So yeah, 18 years in this. I have a team of 9, varying levels of production, and we did 48 million last year, which was a big achievement. And yeah, what else? 25 years married. That was a big celebration this year,
Nice.
and 2 adult kids. So. Running it all, doing good, yeah.
so which brings me to, so you were building your career when you had little ones.
I was, yes.
So expound on that a little bit, please.
That's a
We do
great,
have
I
some
love that
moms
you
and
asked
dads
that
here.
question. Yes, right? And my husband would travel for work a month or 2 at a time. So basically, single mom with 2 kids, trying to run the business and do these things. And at that point, I was very much a solo agent. Here's what people say, how did you get started? I built my business on the bleachers of any name the sport. My kids were in all of them. I go, how are you? What are you? Oh, where do you live? Really great. Okay, cool. I turn to the next person, right? I put my name on every flyer that could go out to a parent. I volunteered at their schools. I made sure my email signature was on everything that went to everybody. I had no money and no time, but I figured out how I could work within where I already was, right? So that's what kind of launched things. When people say, I don't know what to do, I'll say, what do you already go do? Where are you already? Go to the gym every day? Cool, there's a whole audience, right? Like what else do you volunteer? Maybe you foster dogs. Great, you have people coming into your house every day to check out dogs. Like what is it that you're already doing? There's a great platform there for free to build a business on.
How did you balance? Were you a time blocker, or did you just
I had
do
no
what
balance.
you could do?
I'll be really honest, I think
good.
it's a really great go.
when people say like, how did you get, I just say, I worked really hard. I had a lot of sleepless nights. I hustled. I had to, right? That's just what came with it. So no, there wasn't a lot of balance. And I tell you what, as where I am now, I've gotten that, but it wasn't without not having it for a long time to get to that point. So I don't, some people, many people will do it smoother than I did it probably, but I think some of that just comes with the territory, right? So.
Thank you for your clarity here, honesty on that. Regan, what was the biggest pivotal moment? What was that point where you were like me, like, man, I'm hitting my head against the wall, or, I'm thinking of quitting or whatever, what was that moment that you got over that hurdle?
Yeah, great question. If you know me, you know that I can be a very vulnerable human being, and I try to lead with my past experiences to impact others. I am actually a suicide survivor, and I speak out for mental health with the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. And I think pivotal moments for me were when I finally realized how much of a roller coaster this industry can be on all of us, right? Whether or not we're really busy and clients love us and need us, and then something starts to go a little awry, or suddenly we get through our clients and our pipeline's dry. If you struggle with mental health on any level, that can make a huge impact on your business. And I didn't realize that getting into real estate. You just want to help people, it's fun. And you start to realize the daily toll it takes on yourself. So when I really fully accepted that and started to work on my mental health within the industry and speak out about it and see others and try to help others, it gave me a reason to want to get up, dress up, and show up. I started using social media a lot when I actually didn't have a lot of business, but it gave me a reason to get out of bed in the morning. I knew if I didn't have a client that day, or I didn't have any clients, and I didn't have a reason to want to wake up, that depression sinks in, whatever that is, I could get up, I would have to get ready, and I would show up on social, and nobody else would know the difference, right? Maybe I'd go find a new construction. Maybe I'd be in my team meeting, but I would get ready and I would post about that. And it started to just propel me into wanting to do more, be more, and get in a healthier mindset. And then I was on a panel recently, and this question came up, and it kind of came full circle. I was in a very toxic relationship with somebody within the industry, and you can't heal and you can't thrive when your environment isn't healthy, right? So about a year ago, I finally fully freed myself from that, and I realized that I had something to prove to myself. And every single day I got up to prove to myself that I was better than all of the words and the things that were being done to me, and to prove to myself that I could build a beautiful career. And that was the turning point. I just couldn't fail. I would not allow myself to fail. So those are kind of my two main.
Wow, huh?
Yeah, sorry that's loaded, but I know somebody else in here probably struggles with it on some level, and it's important to just say you're not alone, so.
Oh, that's beautiful. And is there anywhere do you have a certain place people go just to hear your story? Because her story alone is mind-blowing. Actually, she was one, Kelly Arvidsson and a handful of other people, or KW agents I met when I was working for another company, and I'm like, I want to build a culture with people like that. And that's her. So is there somewhere they can go?
You can follow me on Instagram if you ever want to connect. I can connect you with great resources for mental health if you need that. I'm not a therapist on any level, so I don't want to say that. But I've been around the block when it comes to mental health, so I want to share as much as I can.
Well, that's awesome. Jordan Freed coming up too. Highly recommend it. Great for mental health mindset. Please do. And yeah, your last career, by the way, is very interesting. So I can't really trust you. You made squeal on us.
Yeah. That's not in my listing presentation, by the way.
Oh. So Kyle, did you have that moment, or when things clicked for you, and then also that moment where you're like, okay, I'm 3 feet from gold, but I want to stop digging?
The time that I spent on Foy's team was very impactful. While I was on Dave's team, and I always appreciated hearing your story and your transparency and authenticity. And I think that people that get invited up onto these panels, maybe because of their production, show up authentically and genuinely to their clients. They're not trying to be somebody who they aren't. And I think that that's probably one of my greatest strengths from a production standpoint. So around that time that I was on Dave's team, I got sober. I was a super high functioning alcoholic. It was a liter and a half of vodka a day in my truck. As soon as I was done with work for the day, I was drinking, get home, pass out. And I had one 2 kids, 2 boys at the time. I now have 3 boys. And I didn't like who was in the mirror, and I didn't want to expose my sons to that. And so I loved the time that I was on Dave's team, learned a ton, and then it was getting sober and working through the 12 steps, and getting immersed within AA and really figuring out what was behind all the vodka that I was drinking, and then being able to show up differently from that perspective.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, congratulations, by the way. Well, let's give one of these for. And that was the point that turned it around, but was that also the point where you were your biggest challenge? I mean, was there ever a point where you're like, man, I'm
Life's
just not
always
gonna.
a challenge. Like everybody in this room, we all have the stuff that we deal with, right? And it's important and it's big for every person that's in that. That was just mine. And so once I was not trying to manage that, I think it allowed a lot of bandwidth to focus on other things, and to show up better as a dad, to show up better for my clients. A lot of people get into real estate because they want the freedom, and what they fail to realize is that the freedom comes from discipline that then ultimately leads to the freedom. And so I think when you're lucky enough to sit up on these panels, what people see is sitting up on these panels. Like Katey, what you said earlier about being a single mom with 2 kids and working, what they don't see is when I'm on my bike in the morning, I'm listening to podcasts, and then I read, and then at night I listen to podcasts. Like I don't binge watch Netflix, right? My free time is chasing my kids around the baseball fields and basketball courts. And if it's not that, then I'm trying to improve myself from the business perspective by gaining knowledge, that then my clients experience and see that they don't see. I mean, like I don't sleep, right? Like I just don't sleep well. And so it's reading and it's podcasts and it's this and that. And then I get up and I do that in the morning and I do it at night. And so it's all of that preparation when it's met with an opportunity that allows people like us to sit up here.
That's powerful. That's outstanding. So to me, that's like you're working on yourself and you're growing every day, whether business is going well at that moment or not. So you've always got that momentum going.
Yeah, like this moment started 12 years ago, right? Like it was 12 years ago that transformation and that change started, that allowed me a cool opportunity like this to be invited to a panel.
That's awesome. And basically we called it fall in love with the process.
Yeah, totally.
How about you, Katey? Was there the big pivotal woo and then the
You know, I can't say I had a big pivotal moment necessarily, but I think, Regan, what you touched on, I think understanding and getting okay with the ups and downs of this business is crucial. You're gonna have awesome days, and then the next day you're gonna feel like you got punched in the gut, and the next day is gonna be good, right? Like understanding, I think it took me a while to get to that where I didn't internalize that stuff where you know, like you can't sleep and you've got your upset stomach, how am I gonna fix it, what's gonna happen, and understanding there's a solution. Like, I always love that saying, it's probably on the wall here, staying in curiosity. That's probably the one statement that I can pull out all the time that kind of solves a problem or a mindset for me. Things are hard, you're like, I wonder what's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen, we're not gonna stay in this moment, right? Something is gonna happen, what is it? I can't say I've had a big pivotal rock-shaking moment in my life. I have been, probably one of the first statements I said is I love this career. I am a workaholic, I love this career. That's probably my alcohol, right? Like, and that can backfire. It's made me extremely successful in this business, and God willing, I can celebrate a 25-year marriage. I have a very patient husband, very patient, almost scary patient, right? But I have missed things, right? I haven't been present. I've spent plenty of time talking to my husband and then asking the same question I just asked that you already gave me an answer to because I wasn't paying attention because I'm thinking about that deal and I gotta text this person back, being absent. Thing that I continually try to work on, really, truly, and it is a big challenge for me, is being present. Like stop, let work be work, let the drive and that be its thing, and then close the door to get back to people later. So for me, that's an ongoing thing, always.
That come from curiosity is something I teach my team every single day, and it can solve almost any problem you're in. Client calls you upset, it's easy to want to be defensive or get upset back. And if you come from curiosity, that problem will almost solve itself 99%
It's
of
so
the time.
freeing. It kind of lightens what's up. I mean, again, like I said, there's never not going to be a resolution.
Yeah.
Think about that. It's gonna be something. Let's think about what it could be. It could be great. Maybe it's really gonna suck. Okay, well, it's gonna be something.
Yeah.
Right?
Or there's
So-
something we don't know that's going on behind closed doors for them, that's showing up as
Totally.
a direct
Yeah.
attack to us.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
exactly.
I love that you shared that.
Oh, no, keep going, you're doing great.
This is fun to watch, right?
Between two beautiful ladies.
Right where I like it.
I know.
So, just before we move on to the group part, is there anything special that you guys like, I mean, Kyle, you probably pretty much touched on it with how you do it, but how do you stay, like, when you do get in a doubt, is there anything special that you guys do to help pull yourself out of that funk? Because not just in this market, but in any market, we're gonna have a lot of ups and downs, life happens too. And is there anything special that you do for your mindset or just for your well-being that keeps you going? Anybody? Sure.
I have a routine in the morning that is just consistent, that I know I need to do. It gets me up, right? And whatever that is for you, for me, it's time in my devotionals, in my Bible. I'm like a strong Christian. Working out in the morning is pivotal, right? Gratitude. I am a big believer of gratitude. I used to post even on Instagram every day, just 5 things. It can be little things, you know, thank you for this cup of coffee, this warm cup of coffee, for a bed to wake up in, for a dog, you know, if you don't have a partner, like all these things, if you can change the frame of your mindset. And oftentimes at the end of the day, if I'm coming home and I'm feeling really defeated, I will sit in the driveway before I go in the house and think the same. Like, what can I be grateful for right now? Rather, than walking in with this negative energy and taking it out on your partner, your whoever's there, right? You think about the little things. I'm so grateful to be pulling into this house, to have this partner, for a job that I can go to, for a great office, and it will change your mindset. I think it's also huge to have an incredible brokerage, right? And support, and a place that you can show up. We're seeing some of these other brokerages start up that don't have a physical space to be in. I know personally, from a mental health standpoint, if I know I can get up and have to go to the office, whether or not I need to do anything, there's a training going on, there's a team leader that will talk to me, that is so huge for mental health, to just get up and be around good people and good energy. I'll leave it at that, but there's lots more I could share.
Oh, that's awesome, thank you so much.
Your turn. Well, you aren't allowed to talk.
So,
Kyle and I are in the same office, so we get this every day.
bring it, Kyle, bring it.
What was the question?
What's that?
You're going.
Yeah, when you're hitting the skids, you know, you're feeling, you know, what do you do?
The
to
morning
help boost
routine,
you up?
working out, riding my bike, 90s hip hop does it for me every time. And getting back to the AA stuff, part of at least the home group that I'm involved in is when you're in the gutters or in the dumps or whatever, call somebody. Something I can't make it up when I call people that I know who are also in recovery, and you feel like you're going through stuff, and then you get to hear what other people are going through, and you can just get to listen and talk. And, that really helps. And having good friends. Greg, I said that you made me be here today, but one of the pivotal moments too, when Greg came over and we got to know each other and have become really good friends since then. I owe you a lot of my career. Yeah, sometimes we harass people on bikes around the lakes and maybe have us together. It's fun. But Greg is so helpful and so sharing. And if you want to become a better agent, know the forums. It's that simple. Like, if you're not listening to whoever's teaching the forums, I'm very lucky to have Greg. We talk a lot, right? And I come to you with stuff all the time. And we argue, and you think it's this way, and it's great. And it's not from like a combative perspective. It's simply from an alternative perspective to really get to know the nuance of the forums. Like, that's a free way to set yourself apart from other agents, is just know what you're having people sign and learn to negotiate around those things, and you'll make more money.
anything that you specifically do to maintain that level of mental health, mindset?
I believe the start of your day sets the day for me. And to be honest, this is newer to me. I didn't know I'd do this, but getting up with the routine, doing yoga in the morning. I now, it's so funny. Never thought I was a morning person. Now I love the morning. Love it so much. I love to get to bed early. Like I don't know. Now I'm like, it's just shifted. It's shifted things so much. I have an hour and a half before I start any work every morning. And it has just been an absolute game changer for me to do that. I think it's kind of, you have those days and just know it's just that day. Tomorrow's gonna be better. Or make it better in the moment, right? There's that too. You get to sit in your feelings for a second, move through it. I don't know if you guys have accountability groups in this office or not. That's something we have in our office, and Jake lures a handful of agents. I probably have been in one together 10 years, I bet. I mean, we started this, and it is, to me, that's a game changer. What we deal with in this career, I sometimes think can only be understood by somebody else that works in this career. It's just what we deal with in the, it's just I'm sure the same for doctors or attorneys, whatever. Like, to have people that you can have camaraderie with and you can celebrate with, and you can also have, what do they call that, a 5-minute funeral of like, this sucks so bad, I'm so upset, this and that, and somebody go, yeah, I've been there before, here's what I did, or here's an idea, and move on, right? But to have people that understand the world that we all work within is, I think, key. So we do it, we meet once a week, and we just talked about this the other day. I said, there's times where I've come into that accountability meeting, maybe just feeling like I'm fighting back tears and I'm just showing up today. All I can do is sit in this chair today.
But it got you there.
It got me there, and guess what? I didn't leave feeling bad, right? I left feeling better. Maybe I didn't bring a whole lot to that meeting, but I had that companionship for a little bit and support from people that understand. So if you don't have those, you create that. Get a group of 5 or 6 agents that you bond with and be there for each other.
Can I add one thing? We talk a lot about morning routines, and I remember sitting and hearing that and trying a morning routine and failing at it. And then the next day I woke up too late. And if you're already struggling or feeling down, that immediately makes you feel even worse that you're failing. And so what I had to realize is you can have this morning routine or know the things that are healthy that you want to be doing, and it's okay to implement it throughout the day, right? Maybe you woke up late, the kids were crazy, you got a late start to work, but over the lunch hour, you got to take that quick walk or meditate or do your yoga, right? It's about doing the activities, not necessarily setting yourself to it has to be done right here, and then I'm failing my day when it doesn't get done, because that can start your day really negatively. And then the one thing I tell everybody is it's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to not ask for help. And there's so many people that are here to help and that love you and want you to thrive. And we lost an incredible agent in our office who was a very close friend of ours. And if we could have only helped him just see his impact and know that, all he had to do was make one phone call, right? And I live with that every single day. So it's okay to not be okay, but it's not okay to give up.
That's heavy. I appreciate that. And one of the things that we talked about, we've been talking more about is being accountable to yourself. Meaning, what's the word that Jordan was talking about, but it was promise. Yeah, thank you. When you set a promise to yourself, now you say promise, I'm going to get this done in the morning. Well, then you break it. You start feeling momentum going the wrong way, and you have like I said, the wrong kind of momentum. However, I love how you phrase that. It's kind of like the time blocking. If I didn't do it during this time, well, I'm still going to do it. So make promises to yourself that you're going to keep. If you don't think you can keep them, don't make that promise. It's hard to stay confident and momentum. What systems, Regan, and models from KW have helped you grow?
You might want to start at the end. The one thing I would tell you guys is my biggest regret is not starting out with a database and having my business be built kind of what I call baptism by fire, and then going backwards to try to set up great systems. I guarantee you I lost so much business doing that with the time that was spent if I would have done it up front. Using command, getting your database in there, and then hire as soon as you know you're ready. It took me losing business and sacrificing service because I thought only I could do it, right? And I need to serve these people and they only want to work with me, to hire somebody who has now implemented using command. We just met with Marty, who's our tech guy, to learn how to do a command ad. I've never paid for a lead. I've never done anything, and I'm not proud of that because I can only imagine what my business would have been if I would have had 36 touches and all the things beautifully set up, but I just wanted to serve people and run, and that's okay too. But it's very messy when you don't do it up front. So slow down, do it right the first time, and that's all I'm gonna share on that.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get a checkup with Marty and see how you do.
Yeah.
Kyle?
I am not a systems person.
There.
DTD2, I loosely follow that. I have a small team. It's me and my full-time licensed assistant, Laura, who's been with me for 6 years, and Carly. And Carly's job is just to show houses, so I can be at baseball games and basketball games. So I'm not highly systematized. I do think about that, how much business I've lost because I'm not. Like, recently, within the last probably 2 weeks, I've started using Google Calendar. Like, that was a big deal. Sometimes I look back and we did what, 82 deals last year, like 32 million, just over, and I'm like, how am I doing that? So DTD2.
Yeah, that's a simple one to implement, right? Like, it's
Totally.
just 2 letters of the alphabet, like,
Yeah.
you can't get it, yeah. I'm very blessed to have an incredible marketing coordinator who has does a 36 touch, and I'm like, is it 33, 38? I don't know, but we do that at a high level. And I'm seeing the results from that. That to me is the biggest one. I always thought, and I think I used to say, I'm like, no one wants to hear from me 36 times, that's obnoxious. But there's ways you can do it that are not. And I always thought, I'm not calling somebody 36 times. Well, you have one event, there's 6 touches, right? Like, so breaking it down and realizing like, oh, probably actually are doing that if we're doing 2 events a year. Like, so just not making things extra complicated, making it, keeping it simple. But yeah, command, we work fairly well in that. I should say, people that help run the team do that well. That's not my forte by any means. But that would be, that's a tool that's here and free for all of us. and it works, and it's just taking the time. Here's one thing I realized, and this is maybe true for you guys when you're saying really like systems and things. A lot of us, if you're like, you like the action of this, those types of things can be painful to sit and do when you aren't wired for it. Like, talk about like the things like the high dopamine tasks. Guarantee we probably all pick that thing. What's going to give me energy? Oh, I'm going to do this, and then the list of the other things that actually drive and pull your business forward get lost. So if those are not the things that you're excited about, find out who is and hire them to do them. It'll pay for itself.
Awesome. Let's just stick with you, Katey. You're on a roll.
Yeah.
So appreciate it. So when you got going, where did you get most of your leads from? What's your means of getting your leads?
Well, like Regan, like you just, I've never paid for a lead. I never bought, and I always thought, gosh, I'm missing this whole other opportunity for business. And I talked to my coach about it, and she said, do you touch your database at a high level all the time? We had those things, but at the time I couldn't answer it. I don't at that time. She said, why on earth would you go pay to meet strangers when you're not in front of the people that already know and love you? And I thought, oh my gosh, that really is so simple. So the database, think about it, also the data bank, right? That translates into that. So again, when I said, how did I start out? I didn't have money and I was running kids around, so I started the business there. So it's Sphere. It was just people that I was around. That's where I started things. From there, it has been Sphere. I work very heavily in agent referrals. I've been a part of that world for 10 plus years, and I've devoted a lot of time to building that business, and then also positioning myself with other professionals. So that's, financial planners, accountants, attorneys, those have been, it's all relationships, I guess, at the end of it, it's all relationships.
Me too. If we get and sign calls have picked up. If I get a sign call, I'm really good at converting those. But otherwise, it's Sphere and relationships and maybe somebody told me about the Mike Hicks promise. Like, if you don't know it, there's an easy way that you could learn a script that in theory you're going to double your business just by learning that one script. Anybody familiar with that? Don't put me on the spot because I'll butcher it. Colin will put on a class about the Mike Hicks promise sometime, right? Yep. But it's simple. It's just when you're meeting with the client, the initial time, it's say, look, my goal is to do such a bang up job that between now and closing, you will refer me one piece of business. And if we get to closing and you haven't done that, I'll assume that I did something wrong or I didn't live up to the expectations, and I'll pull you out in the hallway at closing and ask what I could have done better. So it's just setting that expectation up front on either the buyer consult or the listing presentation. And again, that's free. I don't spend, I shouldn't say that. I started as I've gotten more into investment real estate. I paid for some ads through Bigger Pockets, but up until that point, I hadn't paid for leads. So it's all just free stuff.
It's a lot of calls. You get on the phone a lot, or you use other.
I answer my phone a lot.
That's a winner right there.
Yeah, totally. Like,
People are surprised, aren't they, when you're like,
Yeah.
oh, you answered.
I got a call last year, one afternoon about this time, out of state number, picked it up, and it turned into 15 deals last year.
Most people would look at that and say, that's a spam call coming through, I'm not gonna answer.
What he told me was he called 10 listing agents and not one of them picked up. And I did.
Katey and I were not one of them.
But seriously, think about that. It was one phone call, it was $162,000 in GCI last year. And they're selling some of their properties this year. So
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Well, good job answering your phone.
it's free.
Here's the thing, this is what I always think about, people are like, what's the secret? It's work hard, like be focused on what you're doing, but there's no secret sauce out there. There's no magic lead source. There's not something that you don't know about that's out there that's leading people to success. It's simple, right? In the sense of there isn't something out there that you don't know about. It's just taking advantage of what is in front of you and your time and abilities.
You and I are baseball guys. My college baseball coach, Dennis Denning, used to say you can't teach hustle. Like you either have it or you don't.
He's well learned.
Yeah, he's unbelievable. Yep.
Maybe Regan.
Main lead sources, I wanna make sure. So when I started out, I think it was really hard for me. I was a young, not that it matters, blonde female who didn't look, very old and just ran around and thought everybody would trust me, right? And nobody did. So joining a team, yeah, your spirit was like, you just got done pricing pigs. Like, why would I buy a house? Right? So joining a team was huge because then your spirit, you start to use that person's business, the listings they have, the clients they have to talk about and to start to build that trust. And suddenly the public starts to go, wow, Regan does a lot of real estate. And really it's my team, right? So being able to leverage that or leveraging your brokerage numbers. Or I'm really big on open houses. I actually have a speech impairment and it shows up horribly on the phone. I worked through that, but in person I can be much better. So I built my business on open houses. We pull on average about 20% of the business we do on open houses. Last year we did about 89 transactions, so it was a lot. So anytime my pipeline gets low, for example, January, February, I went, I don't know what we're doing. We went out and I held as many open houses, parade models, you name it, as possible, and we got a beautiful pipeline right now. But all I want to do is come from contribution. And so that means when I'm holding an open house for somebody, if I have permission to go door knock around, right? That's scary. Nobody wants you showing up at your house. But if you come and you come from contribution to let the neighbor know, hey, I'm gonna be holding an open house right up the street. I wanted you to know in case there's extra traffic, people may be parking in front of your house. They're like, wow, thanks for saying that. Thanks for letting me know. And here's a flyer if you know of anybody or you want to pick your neighbors so you know who lives by you, send them down. It's little things like that that have allowed me to reach out and go just beyond my sphere because it doesn't make me scared, right? And as far as a 36 touch goes, I was resistant to that too, but instead we send out contributions. So like yesterday, I did a quick video on please run and check your sump pump, right? And I had 5 or 6 clients immediately reach out and go, wow, thank you. Or what if we don't have a sump pump? And it just becomes touches. So it's finding things of value that you can then add to other people. Other things that we are really big on is community involvement. And I wanted to do this my entire career, but without hiring, you just can't do it all, right? This is one of the only industries where we literally have to hold every single role, from HR to marketing to sales to you name it. So doing events was hard. And since I've hired an admin, we've been able to we do 6 really high level events a year. Some exclusive to our clients, others we have a spring fling coming up. We bring local boutiques in free of charge to them, and we invite our community to come and shop. I buy everybody cocktails, we support the small businesses, it allows me to be there and talk to people during spring market, and again, we're just coming from contribution. So that's how we've built our business. It hasn't been buying anything salesy. Do I think there's a place for that? Absolutely there is, it's just not my business
What's the cocktails?
model. Yeah, it's Saturday, April 22nd, so come on out. It's actually, this one's ladies only, so
Diet
wear your
Coke.
wig.
Perfect, Diet
Yeah,
Coke.
Diet Cokes are there too, lots of Diet Cokes, yep.
Anyone have any questions they want to throw in here before we, I know I'm just kind of throwing it on you guys, but any questions? Please just raise your hand.
Question.
Yeah, John.
I want to say thank you guys for being so open and honest with all of your personal experiences. Like, it makes it seem like it's a really safe environment to share that kind of stuff, and I appreciate that. So thank you guys. Really appreciate it.
Only because I love to throw Kyle off a little bit, I feel like I have to ask a question. So of all the things that all of you know now, what do you wish that you would have done differently or implemented sooner in your business?
You know, I'm trying to think of a tool. I think one of the things I wish I would have seen, way to put this, I wish I would have been more confident in myself in the beginning and not questioned being new to it, you know, like, I think I was better than I thought I was myself, in a sense. I think I was probably my biggest critic in the beginning, for sure. I don't know if there's a specific tool. I think all of us, you know, especially you know, I don't know, how many are new agents? Like, how many in here are new? Or I'd say like under 2 years. Okay.
Sweet.
I felt like 5 years. I'm just trying to get a read of it. Okay. So you've done this for a little bit, you're like, you gotta get into that groove a bit, and you know, brand new, I love what you said, you leverage the office, you leverage the people around you. One of the things that helped me the most, I said yes to everything. I would knock on people's doors, what can I do to help you, what can I do to help you, what can I do a showing, can I do this, like anything, just get around the people that are doing it. But then to me, it's like, okay, I can do this job. I didn't believe in myself early enough.
Powerful. Kyle, since you got called out.
Oh, thanks. Man, I wish I would have joined a team sooner. It wasn't really a thing in 2002-ish, 3. You know, people think that they give up so much when they join a team, and what they don't give enough credit to is how much they get off of that by putting in the effort. I don't even know what Floyd and I were doing back then, 110, 120, 130 units a year. And if you look at how many deals an agent normally does, that was a couple of careers worth of information that totally catapulted where I am. So I would say that, or what you just said, I love a reason not to work. And if somebody in my office stopped by and said, hey, can I take you out for some pad thai or ramen or something, or buy you a coffee and just pick your brain, I would run towards that. And it doesn't happen. And this culture is unique. The KW culture is unique, where the 2 previous companies that I was at, doors were closed and people were competition. I know a few of you in this room, and I know others in this office that I would love free coffee, right? It's an almond milk vanilla latte, or like pad thai, to just talk for 15 or 20 minutes. I would bet that you get more yeses than nos. You might not get any no's, you might get some not right no's, or let's schedule it. But take advantage of the people who are willing to share. And the curiosity thing, like you guys are getting, scared my mind is. Getting back to the curiosity thing from very early on, I think a lot of people go to trainings and go to rooms and they're looking for that magic bullet, if you will. And it's just about finding things that may work for your personality. I can't copy what you do. I look at your social media every day, say, man, could I copy that? Would she get mad at me if I took that post and redid it for me? I know you wouldn't.
I would
but
never.
then I'm like, well, shit, I can't. I'm not social media. Like, I don't do that. I
Being
post my
authentic
kids. I'm not authentic on social media in that regard. But if I post something about us traveling or at a baseball game, that's super authentic. So find what works for you.
I teach a social media class and we talk a lot about that, right? Where people go, I don't know what to post. And it's go look at other realtors, see what they're doing, look at blog posts, but make sure it is authentic to you, right? When you show up, don't try to recreate what they're doing, do it truly to who you are. So I have 4 things right now. Figure out your uniqueness and exploit it in the service of others, right? So some things that make me unique, my background in finance, right? I use that to my advantage in my listing appointments to talk about my ability to negotiate. I grew up in a broken home. I slept on the living room floor through the majority of my 20s because I just didn't have a bedroom. I never had a bedroom, a true bedroom. So my sense of home and wanting to serve people and give them a home allows me to walk with them during any season of life. And so I know these things about myself that allow me to show up in different ways and serve my clients. And so I wish I would have sat down and thought about even the things maybe you're not proud of in your life. How can you use those experiences you've had? Or maybe when you first bought a house, you weren't a realtor. What was that experience like? Go back and think about that and figure out how you could serve differently to help build your business. So that would be one, figuring out your mission and your vision. And when I teach one of my social media classes, they expect me to talk about algorithms and all that. And we take a good 20 minutes and we figure out your mission and your vision. Because if you don't know who you are and where you want to go, how you're showing up on social media is probably pretty scattered, not very authentic, or how you're showing up in your business, to your team, on your listing appointments. So take some time and figure that out. And then, I think I said 4, but I'm going to say one more. If you're thinking about hiring, I thought about this forever. And to me, it was, say, a $30,000, $50,000 investment to get an admin or a marketing coordinator. It's not, okay? You can hire them for 2 weeks and then you can fire them. Right? So it really is whatever that breaks down to, let's say a $1,200 commitment. Try somebody out. Think about if that person can build a database for you or help you go do what you're good at, you can pull one more deal. Is it worth it to try that? And I wish I would have known that sooner.
Awesome, yeah, that's great. Well, when I hired my admin, I didn't realize that they have a database. Actually, her database, it was better than mine. But hey, let's grab some food, sign up for some of the committees if you haven't, but wow, let's give these leaders. You're dismissed.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
I'll go grab it real
You're on a What a raise there. You have my friend Katey.
I thought it was the way.
Yeah, no, and then I got shortly after college.
Can't go back after me.
Okay.
Sharon.
I'm sorry for making it so difficult.
I'm old, but I'm not too old to learn.
You know, Steve, I was telling somebody the other day, you remember that investment?
Oh, wonderful. I'll be in touch about that. That sounds great.
Like it? Do you like that new thing I did up at the it's only been a couple of weeks, but I've got a calculation of the number of actors compared to the number of pending.
Yeah.
And I think it's a much more, it's in the change, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
And it'll be a more accurate right to the moment indication of what the market's on.